I begin our prayer and think about using El Kalum. In this installment, we're going to talk about Allatu's powers and traveling through the multiverse, parallel universes, and things of that nature. So I'm going to tell a couple of little stories um, and enjoy. Just enjoy the ride. These are all true stories, so just enjoy the ride. So, okay. So when Allatu was younger, this is like one of the first situations that Allatu remember traveling into a parallel universe or into another dimension or however you want to put it, right? So Allatu was young. I want to say probably like around 10 or 11 maybe. And um what ended up happening was she was sitting at this table in her grandma's house. This is not grandma here, this is her grandma May. So this is on her mother's side. So she was sitting there and she there with her little cousins and her brothers. They sitting at the table, they playing, whatever, right? And under the table, like she feels something like under the table, so she look, and under the table is a freaking alligator, like a baby alligator under the table. And she looks up to tell them like, hey, hey, look, look, look. And when she looked back, it was gone. And this was not like an hallucination. She literally saw this, and she saw it more than once. It wasn't a bunch of times. It was like maybe 2 or 3 times. She saw the same alligator under the same table. No, she was not hallucinating. I know that's what it's gonna probably sound like. Like, oh yeah, you tripping? You saw an alligator? Like something wrong with you, girl? Like no, like she really saw this. So the same place they was living at, it was this black cat. They used to keep getting in the house. Only person would see this black cat was Allatu. Allatu kept trying to tell her family, like, hey, it's a black cat in here. They thought she was tripping. Ain't no black cat in here. She would sleep on the couch and the cat would like come up and like not scratch her like hard, like attack, but like more like to get her attention. And she would tell him like the cat keeps scratching my neck, and she like, I'm scared because I don't know if it's gonna attack me because it keep like coming up and touching me. And she could feel it. This is not like something that at this point, it's not just her seeing it. She could really feel it. And they look all over the house. It's no way for a cat to get in. It's no, the cat is not hiding anywhere. So they like, what are you talking about? It is no cat in here. Until one shadow hour, she's laying down and she didn't like to face, like she would have her back facing out on the couch because whenever she would face like with her face facing out the couch, she could see the cat coming toward her. So she felt like if maybe I just turn my head, the cat, the cat won't come. The cat scratched on her neck and she actually had the marks on the back of her neck and she showed them to them. And that's when they believed her. But they still couldn't find the cat. Okay. Now, later on, let me just tie this into something else. Later on, Allatu was like, I want a black cat. I want a black cat. So this is like when she moved on, just, she's an adult, she got on children, so on and so forth. She kept saying, I want a black cat named Bastet. I want a black cat named Bastet. And I kid you not, one day, out of nowhere, a black cat literally walked in her house and it looked like the same cat. Now, of course, Allatu don't have a way to prove this is the exact same cat from back in that, time when she was a little girl, but the cat looked exactly the same. And I guess you could say, well, don't all black cats look alike? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're black cats. Like, it's no distinguishing marks. It's a black cat. But the cat walked into her house. Like, she lived there. Like, walked in, like, and just chilled. Like, and, of course, Allatu ended up keeping the cat, caring for the cat. The cat ended up having kittens there. And Allatu loved those kittens. Well, those cats, they grown now. But, yeah, this is why Allatu have a lot of cats, because of Bastet. And Bastet, as quickly as Bastet appeared, Bastet had her kittens and vanished. Yeah. So that was the first experience that Allatu had that she could say like, okay, I must have been traveling in the parallel universe because where did this cat come from? Another time, which may not be traveling to the universe, because I tell this story because a lot of people feel like this one is like so crazy. This one is crazy. Allatu was at someone's house and they had like a leather couch and she was laying on the couch, and I kid you not, the couch was breathing. Like she could feel the couch breathing on her back. It was to a point where she just got real still, held her breath to make sure it wasn't her breath, like her breathing, making the couch like, move in and out. No, it was not her breath. The couch was literally like breathing, making like a breathing motion. Like she wasn't sitting on the actual couch, she was sitting on a being. Yeah. That was just a little short something to just say. Like, I don't know what that was about, but I just want to throw that in there. Anyway, so the next situation that Allatu had when she was a teenager. And she had many other. I'm just like kind of briefing some of the ones, and I'm sharing these stories because I want to know if you guys ever traveled into a parallel universe, and if share your stories. So anyway, so this is when Allatu was digging when she was dealing with Trigger. So Trigger, it was these new children that moved on the block, and one of the little girls' name was Bug. So Bug had like a little attitude. Like they thought they was hard. They was from like the projects, and they just thought they was real tough or whatever. Allatu didn't really get down with them like that. She ain't talk to them. She didn't really deal with them because she's seeing how they moved, and she really didn't like it. So she just kind of kept her distance from them just for that reason. Like, I don't really like how y'all be vibing. Y'all must stay away from y'all. Because Allatu kind of had a little bit of a chip on her shoulder and was kind of quick to fight at that time. So when she saw trouble brewing, she would try to stay away from him because Allatu fought a lot, but she was not a bully. A lot of times, most times that Allatu fought, it was her defending herself or defending somebody else. So that it wasn't that. If she could avoid a fight, she would. And she saw the signs. She's like, yeah, that's not somebody I want to hang around. So one day, Trigger and Bug is arguing. And Allatu walk up in the middle of them arguing, and they hitting each other. So Allatu laughing because they was getting on each other, and it was really actually funny to Allatu. She like, y'all silly, like she laughing, and Bug just come out of nowhere like, what you laughing at, B? And Allatu like, wait, what? Who you talking to? Like, I ain't got nothing to do with this, but you want to involve me? It could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? If you want to cause a problem, it could be one. So Bug ain't backing down. Her brother come out telling her to be quiet. Like, this ain't got to do with her. Stop, this, and the third. And of course, the little girl just kept going. And so Allatu, again, like, step off the porch. Like, cause I'm not trying to come up on your parents' porch. Like, your parents, they seem like really cool people, but like y'all something else. Y'all came over here thinking y'all tough. And I'm not the one for it. I have not caused no problems with y'all. I have not argued with y'all, fought with y'all, nothing. So I'm telling you, chill. If you don't chill, step off the porch. So she like, not want to step off the porch, whatever. So Allatu didn't make threats. Like, so they're going to say this too. She was not one of them people that'd be like, I'm going to beat you. She didn't whoop. She didn't sell woof tickets. You know what I'm saying? If she said she was going to do it, she was going to do it. And 9 times out of 10, she not even going to tell you she's going to do it. She's going to do it. It wasn't no need to talk about it and discuss it or warn you and tell you. Like, yeah, if I said it, I said it. That's how Allatu was. So Allatu told her, I catch you off that porch, I'm slapping at you. And so Bug's like, all right, yeah, whatever. Later on that day, sure enough, Allatu caught Bug off that porch. But Bug had a surprise for Allatu. Bug and her, she had another cousin with her. Bug and her cousin saw Allatu and her cousin walk into the store. Now, another thing too, Allatu did not like the jumping on people thing. Allatu was not about that. She would get upset if she finds somebody and somebody else jumped in to help. Like, don't do that. If it's one-on-one, it's one-on-one. Don't jump into no fight I'm having. That's how Allatu was. So, and also don't hold me back. That was another thing. Like, don't put your hands on me. If I'm fighting somebody, don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? So Allatu and her cousin walked to the store, and she didn't, I guess Bug and her cousin saw them when they walked past her house. So they come back and they like on the church stairs waiting on Allatu. And so Allatu, she know what she said. She remember what she said. She wasn't holding back on that, and she meant it. So she walks up to her. She's like, didn't I tell you when I see you off that porch, I was going to slap the shit out you? And Bug looking at her like, with this look of like, yeah, whatever. Allatu had on like a pullover like type of jacket. Bug let her take this jacket off. And I guess she thought Allatu was playing. Allatu proceeded to slap the shit out of her. So, boom. She slapped her, and not knowing that this girl Bug had a lock on a string. So you know how it is in the hood. You know, people get into a fight, everybody come out the woodwork like fight, fight, fight. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, like, by this time, like, the corner then, like, everybody then piled up because the church is right in the corner. Everybody then piled up. It's like a big old church, right? So like they right here, like right in front of the church, because they would sit on the stairs. So they right here on the stairs. So they right here, and she didn't see it. Like, so she didn't, like, at this point, she didn't already, like, then boop, boop, boop the girl, you know, a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, not just stopped at this point. She didn't bop, bop, bop her. You know what I'm saying? So one of Allatu's male cousins had came up, and he was, like, standing there in between them, like, you know, trying to stop the fight or whatever. So he knew the routine. He didn't want to grab Allatu, so he was, like, kind of standing in front of Allatu, but, like, facing Bug. And so he saw Bug, but Allatu, because he was taller than Allatu, so Allatu didn't see it. She had pulled the lock out, and she went to go swing it, and he grabbed her arm, but the lock is on the swing, so the lock still hit Allatu in the head. So Allatu, of course, she felt it, and at that point, it was no holds barred. So she grabbed the girl, like, and she, like, got the girl on the ground. She, like, choking her and punching her, and as she on top, like, she hears somebody say, "You bleeding, you bleeding," and she like, "That ain't me, that's her." And right as she said that, she see a drop of blood come from her down and drop on the girl's face. And it was like, she saw red. Oh, you drew blood? So you need a weapon. You talking all this stuff and you gonna hit me with something? So she, like, clenched. And she was squeezing this girl so hard. The girl, and nobody, it was like 5 people trying to pull Allatu off this girl, and they could not get Allatu off her. Like, they was trying to, like, separate her, grab her hands. Like, they could not get her off this girl. And Allatu was, like, literally looking at this girl in the face. And as she looking at her and they pulling, Allatu felt like not her, but like inner her or something, like lift up out her body. And she was like standing above, like she could see everybody. She was like up in the air, like flying above them. And she could see, she looking down at them, and she could see all of them. She could see the whole thing. She could see herself. She literally looking down at her own body, choking this girl. She could see the girl face turning purple, and it's like foam coming out this girl's mouth. She like literally about to unalive this girl. And she was like not able to stop, even though she was looking at herself, and it was like a part of her wanted to stop it. It was like she didn't have control of her physical body, because I guess, I don't know, like she wasn't in her body. That's why, I'm not really sure, but she did not have physical control of it, and so she couldn't stop it. But somebody said something like, you unaliving her, stop, you unaliving her. And I don't know, something in that moment, it was like she felt herself snap back into her body. And when she got control of her body again, she eased up. She let go of the girl's neck. And that's when she was, they pulled her off of the girl. And that was like really a scary experience, because for even after that happened, Allatu was still kind of in some type of mindset that was like, it was out of control. Because it's like, she went back down to the house. No, I'm wrong. So when that happened, the girl got up, her and her cousin ran down to the house. And so Allatu, everybody on the corner talking like, oh, like, y'all saw this, she almost, you know, da da da. And so Allatu saw the girl run, and she took off behind the girl. So she go down this, and like they stand in the porch, and they like standing behind her mother, like, you know, and they just had like this face, like looking like, yeah, and you know, and like Allatu just was not having it. She pushed the mother right out the way, boom, just started whooping the girl up the steps. So she gets to the top of the steps, and by the time that happened, Trigger head came out. Somebody had told Trigger, hey, Allatu out there fighting. So by that time, Trigger came out, and Trigger like go and like, he not trying to fight the mother. He trying to keep the mother from trying to jump in the fight. So he like trying to hold the mother back. And by this time, the brother comes out, and you know, of course, he see a dude like holding his mother. And even though it was like more so like they was kind of tussling because the mother was trying to get her loose. So he probably looked at it like, hey, this dude trying to fight my mother. So he went up, and so now he on the he is on he's on Trigger, and now so now the mother and the brother is on Trigger. Trigger bopping both of them, right? So of course, at the time, like Allatu not seeing this because her back is to them. She got the sister like in the corner of the door, and then she see one of the other sisters coming running through the house, and she see her come out, and she like when she stick her arm out the door, she got a lock on the string too. She swing her arm, like she stick her arm out and try to swing the lock, and Allatu grabs her arm, pulls her, throw her in the corner, and she bopping both of them in the corner. Now she see the father coming, and out of nowhere, Trigger's best friend KO, he come out of nowhere, and like again, I'm saying out of nowhere because Allatu she didn't see none of them until they was right there. She didn't see where they came from, or, she just know that in the moment they was there. And so KO come up with when the father coming out, he come into the door, he come out, and of course he going right because Allatu is right there in the corner of the door, bopping both of his daughters. So he come out, and KO come out of nowhere, bow, knock him right through the window. So they like on the porch, like they brawling. And so somebody like, they called the police, somebody called the police. So they like grabbing us like, go, go, go. So everybody vamp, go their way. Trigger like, go home. So Allatu don't go right home. Allatu, some Allatu other people, like they call Allatu, and they like come in the house, and they like, like you bleed, and they trying to, and Allatu like, no, like, nah, it's not over with, da. So Allatu still on 2,500, you know what I'm saying? So Allatu end up like, no, just go home, go in the house. So Allatu goes to the house, and because Trigger was known in the neighborhood, the police come down there. They not looking for Allatu, they looking for Trigger. Even though Allatu was the one who was the center of this fight, they looking for Trigger. So they like, where's he at? Da. We know who he at. And Allatu really didn't know, but even if she did know, she not gonna tell him. And that's exactly what she said. Like, I don't know where he at, but even if I did, I'm not gonna tell you where he at. And so Allatu's grandma L, like, you better tell him, and you better stop defending him. I'm like, but it wasn't his fight, it was my fight. You know what I'm saying? So they like, well, if you don't tell, we gonna lock you up. They put her in handcuffs. They put her in the back of the car. So they drive down to the people's house, to Bug them house. And so Bug them out there lying, talking about like Allatu came down there and starting a fight with them, came to the house, did this, da. They want to press charges. And the police just sitting here listening, like, and Allatu like, nah, like, let me out. Y'all ain't even asked me what happened. Y'all asking me about Trigger. You didn't ask me what happened with the fight. And they not listening. So Allatu like, let me out. I'm gonna kick your windows out. And one of the police officers looked back at Allatu and kind of got like a little smirk, like, shit, whatever. Allatu proceeded with the handcuffs on, proceeded to lean back and kick the police windows out of the car. Like, she kicked it like 3 good times before they opened up the door and pulled her out the car. That alone, Allatu should have went to jail. Well, she like, yeah, she should have, like, she could have. I ain't gonna say should have. She could have went to jail just for that alone. Like, damaging police property. Like, she would, and it wasn't no little soft kick. She was literally trying to kick the windows out. She leaned back on her back, like, and was like with full force kicking their windows. So, at that point, Allatu tell them like, y'all didn't ask me about the fight. Y'all listening to them and asking them do they want to press charges, but you didn't ask me nothing about the fight. They the ones who started it. You don't see I got this, like, they bust my head with it like they had a weapon. Y'all didn't ask me nothing about that. Y'all down there asking me about Trigger. So once she said that, one of the police officers actually took the handcuffs off of her and let her tell her side. So once she told her side, then they was like, well, if y'all press charges, she could press charges too. And that dropped that. They was like, they didn't want to go to jail too, so they just kind of dropped, like, okay, fine, forget it. So that was that. That was a crazy situation because Allatu really was like, it was like something took over Allatu. Like something literally took over Allatu. And this is one of the reasons too why Allatu do not like to get upset. Allatu do not like to get mad like that because once she gets to a certain point, Allatu loses it and it's no controlling her. So now Allatu is older. She is like, I forgot how old. I want to say she's probably like around 19. She's staying with her grandma L in another part of town, another part of, their hometown. So, well, not their hometown, but like in the outskirts of their hometown. So she's staying with her. She got her little, she got a little job, a little McDonald's job or whatever. And her birthday come up. So at this time, she wasn't in the city, and she missed their life, whatever. So she had asked Keisha to come celebrate her birthday with her. At this time, Alatu was dealing with Rashid. So Rashid had came up there to visit with her, and Keisha had came and she had brought her boyfriend Malik. So they come, Keisha and Malik, they get a hotel room. Actually, they get there and Grandma L is at work, so Keisha and Alatu leave Malik and Rashid at the house, and they go get the confirm the room, and take this stuff up there, set everything up or whatever, get everything in the room. And so they do all that, they blow one, they talking, catching up because they hadn't seen each other in a little while. They go back to the house, they, hook back up with Rashid and Malik. By this time, Grandma L come back. Alatu was like, hey, we about to go out. We finna go kick it with Keisha and Malik at their room. Grandma L like, okay, have a good birthday, yada, 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 so on and so forth. So they go to the room, they kick it. I'm talking about blowing back. I'm talking about they got drinks. And Keisha wasn't really no drinker like that. Alatu wasn't either, but she could handle a drink. You know what I'm saying? So they like kicking it, they blowing back, they drinking. I'm talking about like getting messed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like so much green, so many bees, like I'm talking about blowing, like they was having a good old time, right? So at some point they get hungry. So they like, okay, what can we eat around here? Cause it's like kind of, a little bit late. It's dark at this point. So they're like, what can we eat around here? What's around here for us to eat? So like, okay, it's this little restaurant that Alatu had seen it in the distance. Like she had seen the building, but she never walked up to it or been in it or whatever. So she like, well, it's like a diner. So she like, well, let's go ahead. They probably open. Let's see if they open. If not, we'll just see what else, what else we can get. So they walk over to this restaurant. The name of the restaurant is Perkins. Okay. So they get into the restaurant, they order food. Now, Alatu's favorite thing back then, no matter what restaurant she went to, she always loved ordering pancakes. I don't care what restaurant it was, she wanted to see how they pancakes was. And that was her favorite, thing back then, pancakes. So she get in there and she like, it's my birthday, I want pancakes. They had some of the best pancakes Allatu had ever had. They was fluffy, they was big, they was like as big as the plate. They was fluffy and buttery. They was like literally like they was some of the best pancakes Allatu had ever had. So everybody else ordered their stuff. I'm not really sure what Keisha and Malik ordered, but Rashid ordered some Mexican food. He ordered quesadillas. He ordered some quesadillas. And so they eating their food. They messed up. And literally they got pictures. Like, now I don't have access to these pictures right now, but they took pictures. Okay. So this is not something like they making up like, oh, well, like this didn't really happen. No, they got pictures of them inside of the place. They don't have pictures of them outside of it, but they got pictures of them inside the place. So they, eating and this and the third, and so much so like they remember so much detail about it. And all of them remember this. So much so, excuse me, I'm about to say, y'all, but Rashid was so messed up that he actually vomited in his food at the table. So they end up, stopping eating whatever they got up and left. So Allatu and Rashid go back to Grandma L house, and Malik and Keisha go back to their hotel room. Okay, cool. So it's the next day, and Allatu like, I want some of them pancakes again. Before y'all go, let's just hook up one more time and like blow one, and let's eat some of them pancakes. Well, go back so she gets some of the pancakes. They're like, okay, cool. So they go to the hotel room and they blow blow a little bit more, and they walk over to the restaurant. The restaurant is closed. Literally closed. Like, not like it was closed like for the day. It was boarded up, closed, as if it was never open. And it don't look like it was just boarded up that day. It like it had been boarded up for a while. Now keep in mind, Allatu had seen this restaurant again. She had been staying over there in the area with her grandmother for a while. She seen the restaurant, but she never walked over there to it. It was like kind of like off by itself. She never walked over there to it to see if it was boarded up, nothing like that before. But they was like, hey, it was open. We walked past. It's a diner. Maybe it's open. They went, checked it out. It was open, and they ate there. They got pictures of it and everything, or in there. And the restaurant was literally closed. It was almost if it opened up for that moment and then closed the next day. It was the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. Yeah, never forget that. So the next time Allatu had an experience like this is when she was with Kane. So they got a place together. They lived together. They got 3 children and stuff, whatever, right? So they in this place. Her and Kane sit on the couch talking to each other. Now, I want to say something about this too. This place had a lot of activity. I'm only going to tell a couple of stories about this place, but this place was like a portal because it had a lot of activity in this place. Okay, like the children even was experiencing stuff at this place. It was some serious activity going on there, like for real. But anyway, they sitting on the couch talking, and literally like out of thin air, a monarch butterfly. It was like orange, yellowish, and black. It literally flew out of nowhere. It was nothing. It was like it's empty space. It's nothing right there. It's no wall for it to come from behind or anything like that. It literally just appeared out of nowhere, flapped a couple of times, and then disappeared into nothing. Allatu, what? Where did that butterfly come from? And literally the next day she go outside and it's like 5 monarch butterflies in the yard right next door to her. And keep in mind, this house that was next door to Allatu, the entire time that Allatu and Kane and the children lived in this house, nobody lived in that house until right before Allatu moved. Like for years they lived in that house, and that house was vacant the entire time. The butterflies was the same butterflies, but it was 5 of them instead of 1, was over here in this yard flying around right there. Like it was in the same direction that the butterfly flapped into. But it was really like a short distance. It literally it appeared, it flapped a couple of times, and then disappeared into nothing. Allatu, mind blown. Okay, boom. Same place. Allatu is on the phone with somebody she met from Facebook. This is somebody named Lisa. Now, Allatu and Lisa had trauma bonded over trauma, like dealing with men. Just hurt, pain, dealing with men. At that time, Allatu's issues had really came a lot from what she was dealing with Kane and Ninsiku at that time. And also, Lisa knew Ninsiku too. So they on the phone, they talking, and Allatu a lot of times would sit in the truck because Kane, he used to like to listen to her conversations and throw things in her face later and so on and so forth. So she would go sit in the truck so he couldn't hear the conversation or whatever. So she's sitting in the truck talking. It's dark. It's really dark. It's not as dark as Allatu have witnessed in other places, but it is really dark because it's not like a lot of street lights. It's like just street lights on the corner, none in the middle of the block, and Allatu stayed in the middle of the block. So it was pretty dark. She's sitting here talking, and all of a sudden, she seen a being, like some type of. At first, she thought could be a dog, but it was bigger than a dog. And she was looking. She's like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Lisa, like what?" She's like, "It's something crawling on my roof." Now, let me back up. Kane and Allatu used to smoke in the back of their house, where the children were not, because they didn't smoke in front of the children or around the children. So they were smoking in the room, like in the back of the house where the children would not be able to access. And they would hear something crawling around on the roof. Kane was a little bit, spooked out about the supernatural things or whatever. So he'd be like, "Oh, it's just probably a raccoon." And Allatu was adamant, like, that do not sound like no raccoon. That sound a lot heavier than a raccoon. Whatever that is sound heavy. And it was moving real slow. But they had never seen it at that point. They just would hear it. So, boom. So she see this, and it's like, it's black. It's like, so it's already dark. This thing was like triple dark. It was like, it looked like a shadow. That's how dark it was. And it was on all fours, but it looked like it could stand up on its 2 legs. And the way it was moving, it was not moving like a dog. It wasn't moving like a human. It was moving like a creature. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. So Allatu like, what is that? And so she like describing it to Lisa, and Lisa like, you need to call Kane and tell him to come out there and walk you back in the house. And Allatu like, what? I'm not going out there. I'm not finna get out this truck. So she's sitting there watching it crawl, like creep. And so it was like a branch that was like they had fell on both of the houses. So it was like walking across the branch. So at first, even when it was walking, it was moving kind of slow before that, but it was like kind of creeping. And like the way it was moving, I wish y'all could see me how I'm moving right now. But it was like kind of creeping in this like real, just like creepy way across. And it was like as soon as it got across the branch, because it was like a pretty thick branch, as soon as it got across the branch, it disappeared. Like it's like, but it was on the branch was like, yeah, it was on the next porch, so it was like connected from both. It was like connected to both of the houses, and as soon as it got across to the other house, it didn't just keep walking; it disappeared. And she told Lisa this like, nah, I'm not tripping. Like this thing just creeped across our porch, like, and she telling Lisa like, we heard this before. That's what it had to be, because I kept saying that it was heavier. And Lisa like, yeah, you need to go in the house. Like, hey friend, I like go in the house. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it wasn't like that was the first time. She's seen this entity like a couple more times after that, but that was it. But still, like that was crazy, because it really was what a lot to think it was a chupacabra. A lot of people say that they don't exist, and that people think that chupacabras are like wounded coyotes and stuff like that, or something like that. But no, this was not that. It was bigger than a dog, and it looked like it could stand up. Like the way its legs was made, it looked like it could stand straight up on two legs. That's how it looked. But it was just on fours at that time. And it didn't have like ears. Like the way the ears was, it looked like they was like kind of flat to his head. Like they wasn't like standing up. Like it was like they was like flat to his head. It was a very weird looking thing. Yeah. But that happened. And so at the same place, she also had a neighbor named Lala. Now, this is somebody else that she actually had started a trauma bond with as well. Because like Allatu was doing a lot of healing in this space as well. So Lala was going through some things as well. So being that Allatu was coming about the energy and healing that energy and releasing trauma in regards to relationships and stuff like that, she had, was trying to get Lala to do the same thing. So she had invited Lala to go to the park. And so when she had invited her, so hold on, let me back up before I get to the park thing. Let me back up. So she had just started going around. So this is like, because they was cool before, and then something happened. That's a whole nother story. But they kind of like wasn't talking for a little while, and then they had started back talking. Lala was going through a lot with the man she was with at that time, and he would like just be gone for like he would not sleep at the house. Like he would come through the day, come there in the daytime, and then before it get dark, he'd leave and just stay gone all night. So Lala was really kind of distressed about this. Allatu kept trying to talk to her. So, she basically was asking her like, hey, you need to be honest with yourself. Like, do you want to be with him enough to deal with what, everything that come with him? Or you ready to walk away? Because you cannot change him. Now, if you want to cope better, I could tell you some things that'll help you cope better with what you're dealing with. So Allatu is like basically giving her tips on how to flip the energy and make him respond to her energy while they was there, because Allatu would hear them arguing and stuff like that, and it was really like Lala would be out there screaming and hollering at him and all this stuff, and not that she was wrong, like he would be gone. Like, what woman want to, be with a man that she can't lay with every shadow hour? Like he somewhere else was later with somebody else. So yeah, she was right for being hurt, but Allatu was one of them people like, if you not gonna walk away, then let them cheat in peace. Because what's the point of you doing it? Like why would you want to be unhappy with somebody like that? Like either find a way to be happy or walk away from them. Like it's one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. That's like I said, getting this whole other story. So Allatu was like basically one day telling Lala like how to get him to like come back. So she was like basically would like to stick around a little bit more. So she was telling her like, okay, so this is what I want you to do, like envision. Now Allatu is really good at this, helping you to create or use your imagination. You know what I'm saying? So Allatu had her like close her eyes, and she was like basically running the story to her, like telling her like, hey, picture yourself, not made up too much, like, just your regular, you know what I'm saying, like little get up, little booty shorts or something, you know what I'm saying. Um, um, Picture him pulling up and he going, cause like one of the things I was like, you gotta start out with something small. You gotta trick your mind, make it something believable. So Allatu was like, you want him to put the seeds down so we can stop getting bit by mosquitoes while we out here. Make it that. Picture him pulling up and putting the seeds down. And then you go out there, you standing there, you stand on the porch watching him, you got your little cigarette and so on and so forth. You watching him do it. Then you go in there, you get him some lemonade, you come bring him some lemonade out or whatever his drink of choice is. And you go put your little music on the radio out in your little truck and start singing, cause she could sing. Lala could sing her butt out. So she's like, and be singing to him and stuff and just, then y'all just, give each other a big hug and then, let him come in and then, you just kind of like talk to him kind and gentle and, be rubbing on him and this and the third. Like, just basically paint a whole picture. And Lala was like feeling like she was just like into it and just smiling. And she was just like, you could tell she was really feeling it. She was like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Kid you not. The next day, Allatu go to the store. She come back and she got her music playing, she vibing, you know what I mean? She pull up and she see, when she come down the block, she see his car out there. But she didn't really think nothing of it like that because his car would be out there. It's in the daytime. It's just in the shadow hour where he would leave. So she ain't really thinking nothing of it. So she pull up and she letting her windows up, getting her windows up and stuff. And as she doing this, she look over and see him come from like behind the truck and he putting the granules down, putting the granules down. So Allatu like, she take pause and she like, wait, what? Because this is literally like the next day. So she like, whoa, okay. So as she doing that, she like I said, she letting the windows up, but she still got music on. She see Lala come out the door, but Lala don't have a smile on her face that she envisioned her having. So she looking at Lala like what are you doing? And Lala look at him, and then she look back at Allatu, and she shake her head like and Allatu hold a finger up like, wait a minute, just give me a minute. So she turn off her music and stuff, take her stuff in the house, and she go over there. So by this time, he done stopped putting the granules down. He went in the house. So now he in the house, because usually when she pull up, by that time, around this time, he'll be like leaving back out. He is in the house on the couch. He chilling. He ain't go nowhere yet. So Allatu trying to get her to switch the energy, like, hey, what are you doing? And Lala starts to tell her like, he got on an outfit, this beat bought him out. And Lala like, why do you care? Like, what, like, do you see what's happening? Like, we just talked about this yesterday and it's happening. And Lala looked like a light bulb went off, like, dang, you right. I'm like, do you not see this? Like, you got on the little outfit, you got the cigarette in your hand, like you can, but it's not but you stopped it right at that point. Whereas you're supposed to like keep the energy going so that the visualization would play out. You stopped it with this worrying about some outfit. You don't know who bought the outfit. You saying a female bought it, but you don't know. So why are you hanging on it? It's like you want to be mad. Chill. Now again, this is not to excuse what this man was doing, because he definitely was. He was out there cheating. It's not excusing that. But the point was, Lala wasn't going nowhere. So make peace with what you can make peace with if you're going to stay with him. Why would you, like, Allatu just couldn't fathom, why would you want to stay in a relationship with somebody that you're going to keep having to go through this with, but you ain't nothing changing, you not changing, he not changing, and you just going to keep arguing with this person every day? Let him cheat in peace if you're going to stay with him. And that may sound harsh, but it's just how Allatu felt. It is what it is. So, whatever the case may be, Lala still wasn't letting it go. Lala, she was just like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, that didn't go the way. But it manifested. Literally the next day, what Allatu told her to envision, it manifested But Lala stopped it. She stopped the visualization. She stepped out of that dimension. So then moving forward to after that, Allatu is really like on her. I'm healing from these traumas. I'm moving forward. So Allatu had invited Lala to go to the park with her and the children. Like, let's bring our children. Let's go to the park. Let's have a good time. Let's not be focused on. Let's focus on our children and enjoying ourselves. So they go to. Well, Allatu had said that, and she was like, she was going, but then she changed her mind last minute. But Lala she was on her stuff. She was like, she already had in her mind because she had like a download about like moving forward and letting go of the energy or whatever. And so Lala had went to the park, and at this time Lala was doing lives, doing Facebook lives. So Lala had did a Facebook live, and this is what she was talking about, like moving on from this energy and how it's a whole dimension of a lot of hurt, broken women and men, but it was like mostly women that she saw that was like hurt and broken, and it's all about relationships and stuff. And she was saying that this wasn't her energy anymore. Like, she was like, I'm sorry y'all, but I gotta go. Like, I love y'all welcome to come with me, but I'm done with this energy. I'm done with this frequency. Like, this is not a place I want to be. This is not a space I want to be at. So she basically had proclaimed this in this moment. Now, at the same time, Lala had came on her laugh. She didn't say anything, but she could see that she had came on there. And she spoke to her like, hey, Lala, like, I wish you would have came, girl. And, Lala didn't say nothing. She's like, okay, whatever, cool. So the next day, Lala knocks on Allatu's door. And it's like, come on, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. So she go over there, and come to find out, she had got an eviction notice. Like, literally the next day. And they gave her 30 days. Like, it wasn't even no hesitation. Like, no, this is the process. You got to get out of here by 30 days. And even though Allatu don't want to take credit for that, saying like, oh, I got her evicted, Allatu did make the connection because it was like out of nowhere. Like, it was literally out of nowhere. And so Allatu was like, yeah, this is, the vibe. The vibration was that this person wanted to stay on a certain frequency, and Allatu was trying to pull out the frequency, and she didn't want to go. Okay, fine. Allatu did what she could to help her find a place, but that was really all that she could do at that point. So moving forward, she did end up getting a place, a really nice place, but she still was trying to deal with this brother that was on his own thing or whatever. So Allatu had a download, and a download that she received, it was she seen certain people. Well, it was like she seen certain people. Let me back up. Let me clarify. She seen certain people in this download, but she could not remember their faces. And so the feeling that she would get, it was like a real heavy, like it's the end of the road for you and these people type of feeling. And she did a laugh about this, and she was just like, sometime when you go into the next level of your life, some people can't go. And she's like, I know that it's some people that's not gonna be able to go with me to this next level. I can feel it. I feel them being pulled away from me at this point. And so she said this, and she was like, I don't know who it is right now, but I know that it's a few people. It's like a couple people, 2 or 3 people, and like they're gonna be pulled away from my life. And so, kid you not, at the same time, her and Lala, like for no reason, Lala just had a problem with her. Like, it was just out of nowhere. Again, nothing happened. They didn't get into no argument. They didn't get into no fight. It wasn't no disagreement. It did nothing happen. Lala just started acting weird, stopped inviting her to little functions. But that was Allatu's fault too, because Allatu had been separated from her already because she did not want to move to the next dimension. But she kept going around her. Actually, like, Lala would come sit outside Allatu's house and, basically trying to keep in contact with him. And Allatu kept in contact with her. Their children played together, so she kept in contact with her. And then she started to go over to her house. And it wasn't supposed to be anyway. So at this point, her gal's like, okay, like, you ain't getting it. You need to separate from this energy. You say you done with this frequency, separate from it. You can't be in between 2 frequencies. It's gonna be discrepancy. That's if you get a radio and you try to go in between 2 stations, you're gonna probably be able to hear both stations, but you're not gonna be able to hear either one clearly. So you gotta choose a station, choose a frequency. So Allatu's guys was showing her choose a frequency. Okay. That happened. So then another thing happened. She had a thing. Nisiko had did something that really upset her, and she was like, "I'm like, okay, it's a wrap for this." And so she decided to not let Nisiko affect her energy anymore. And she told Lisa this because her and Lisa had trauma bonding. She knew this what it was, and she had dumped like trauma dumped on Lisa that day before, and she felt horrible. So she was like, "Lisa, look, I'm not doing this no more. Like, I don't feel right doing it." And Lisa was like, "No, it's okay. It's fine. You can trauma dump on me. It's fine." And she like, "No, I don't want to trauma dump on you. That's what I'm saying. We need to be able to relate on other levels besides trauma." And she had a real problem with that. Like, Lisa really had a problem. Like, she really took that hard. So right after that, Allatu, she got up the next day. She was feeling good. She out having a good day. She doing her own thing. She like on some solo stuff. She running errands. She doing her little thing or whatever, right? And so, Lisa, she talked to Lisa, and she told her like, "I'm feeling good." And Lisa went like, Lisa energy was off this day. Lisa like, she wasn't feeling good and stuff. So she's like, "I hope you feel better," so on and so forth, And she going about her day. She get back in to Nisiko messaging her like going off about Lisa. Come to find out, Lisa had like came on one of his posts and was basically lying, talking about that Allatu was somewhere crying and heard about him and this, that, and the third. And this was not true at all. So Allatu like, what? He like, "Yeah, get her out your business. I don't know why she got my post on it, this and the third." And she like, what? So she reached out to Lisa like, "What was that about? Like, what happened?" At first she didn't say that. She waited because she was like, "I don't even want to be involved in this." So like, I told her I was done with this, but she eventually reached out to see why Lisa was doing this. And Lisa literally was like, got an attitude with her like, like, "I said what I said, and I want to say that to him because I felt like saying a lot too." Like, okay, but I didn't want you to do that. Like, what you doing? And so she ended up like, getting the attitude and unfriended Allatu. And Allatu let it go because she knew what it was. She could feel like, this is why these people falling out of my frequency, because I'm changing frequency. So Allatu was letting it go. Then we get to Nisiko. So they had fell out and stuff like that. And she felt it coming with him too, but she didn't want to believe it. She felt it. She had a song that she would play. It just popped up out of nowhere, and it really, like, the words in this song, it was a Lil Wayne song. It popped up out of nowhere, and she would listen to it every time Nisiko would do something to hurt her feelings. And it almost felt like it was him speaking through the songs. That's why she would listen to it, because it kind of gave her comfort. And it also kind of kept her going back to him and stuck to him and attached to him in a certain way too. And so, part of the hook go, "Listen to this song when you mad at me. Listen to this song when you mad at me." Like, and I don't want to say the rest of it, but that's how part of the song. And it was a real sensual song. It was very sensual. But a lot of things in the song, it related to what they was experiencing together, as far as their relationship goes. So it was something that she used to basically cope with her feelings for him. So, she had blocked him, and she had woke up and she just had like this that heavy feeling again. And so she was like, "What the fuck?" So she started panicking. So she goes to the song to listen to the song, and it's not there. It's completely scrubbed off of YouTube. She typed it in all different types of ways, and it's gone. So now she really panicking. Then she unblocks him and goes on Facebook to see what's going on. And he on Facebook throwing all these subliminals, like basically like he done with her. Even though she had blocked him, was like, she was trying to get out his energy, but really what it was, Allatu did not want to let go of his energy. She just wanted him to do right by her. And she thought if she gave him some space, he would realize that, but not realizing that this was actually something that needed to happen for her to move forward. So she was like, kind of hurt, like, "Oh no, like this is really it." And it really was. That was it for them. So yeah, that was that. And this is one of the times when she tapped into energy that let her know ahead of time that she was gonna be hurt about some things that she was gonna have to let go of, but she had to let go of them, and she did. And to this day, she have not talked to neither one of them again, Lala, Lisa, or Nisiko. And that one really hurt because at that point she had really thought that her and Nensiku had a breakthrough before that, and she had started to really like feel like they was on the same page, and he finally felt where she was coming from and felt her energy. But that was the furthest from the truth. He was just, putting on to keep her stuck. So yeah, she had to move on. Then the last and final story, we got to get to one with Aset. Now this go back to the destiny swapping that I talked about in the last video. Aset and Allatu was very connected in a lot of ways. So one particular time, Allatu was sitting in her van. She talking on the phone to Shirapu. And in the middle of the conversation, Aset came and got inside of the vehicle. And she came in, and Allatu heard her clear as day say, "I need you to take me somewhere." And Allatu responded because she heard it out loud. So she responded, "All right, give me a minute now. Let me finish this phone call." And she noticed Aset looked at her like, okay. So she finished her phone call. And she looked at her and she said, "Okay, where you need to go?" And Aset was like, "Well, that's odd because I didn't even say that I needed to go anywhere, but that is what I was coming to ask you." And Allatu like, "Wait a minute, hold up. You just got in here and said I need you to take me somewhere." And I said like, "No, I didn't." She's like, "I didn't say anything. I just got in. I saw you on the phone, so I didn't say anything. I was waiting for you to get off the phone." But Allatu heard her clearly say it out of her mouth. This kind of go back to the other story where I was telling, where Allatu heard a voice tell her to go in the house right now. Allatu heard a voice. She was sitting in her van by herself. She heard a voice very clearly say, "Go in the house right now." And she answered out loud, okay, like she was talking to somebody. And she ended up going in and catching this entity attacking her son's shoe. So, still not to say, like, I hope you guys enjoyed the story times within this. It was multiple in this whole story time, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. These are all true stories, things that Allatu really experienced, and there's plenty of more. These are just some of the stories that I just wanted to kind of jump time now, just to kind of tell you, like, throughout Allatu's life, how she experienced different things. Again, like, these are just some. This is only a handful of experiences that Allatu had. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced things that you chop it up to, am I crazy? Am I tripping? That didn't really happen. Or you don't want to say nothing because you don't want to sound crazy. You don't want to seem like you're crazy. Allatu experienced that too, where she didn't want to tell people certain things because she didn't want to seem like she was cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is, a lot of these things really did happen. And Allatu had experienced things, again, from early childhood. These things has been happening throughout Allatu's whole life. That's why I say it's so many stories that I could tell about Allatu. Like, this is these little stories I'm branching off and telling you, breaking up into separate little things about Allatu. These, like, all these are separate little things, but these are actual things that took place in Allatu's life that shaped Allatu into who she is today, and also helped Allatu along her journey to step more into her power and to not be ashamed of the things that she experienced or feel like something's wrong with her for experiencing it. Because you say certain things to people from a spirit. If you tapped into the spiritual realm, the physical realm would try to make you sound like you crazy by telling you that you got certain illnesses or things like that. And it's not illnesses. These are really spiritual gifts that you just don't know how to activate or utilize properly. And so to the physical realm, people who are stuck in a physical 3D version of themselves, when you tell them certain things, they looking at you like, "Oh, nah, you tripping. You crazy. Ain't nobody experiencing nothing like that. That didn't really happen. That was in your mind." Well, let me tell you something. It's all in your mind. Everything that you experiencing is coming from within you. It's all an illusion. And when I say illusion, I don't mean fake. I mean, it's coming from within you. An illusion is basically not saying something is fake. It's something that appears to be something that is not. So just because something is happening and you don't have an answer for it or explanation for it, it doesn't mean that it did not happen. You just don't have an explanation for it. And guess what? Some things cannot be explained. A lot of things that take place in the spiritual realm is hard to explain in this reality. So that don't let nobody tell you that your gifts are an illusion. They're just as much a reality as your reality. Peace.
You are called. You are chosen.
144,000 chosen
Assured. We are pure alchemists. Transmuting your
transmuting your
thoughts
thoughts into
into
gold.
gold.
A risk of Yale.
Yes, ask me.
Meet me in the laboratory.